Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I don't even know where to get started because there is tons of crazy playoff basketball to talk about. My favorite thing in the world is playoff basketball. I don't know, it's tough actually. Football is pretty great. Playoff baseball is great. Anyway, in the bubble, players have been shooting the lights out. It's been really insane to watch. It's like there's a new rising star every night. We've seen tons of people hitting crazy shots that they normally wouldn't. They say not having fans is a big deal. But I'm just glad that we're playing basketball through all the pandemic and social justice issues. I'm glad basketball's here. We had Game 7 tonight. Rockets Thunder, James Harden and Russell Westbrook playing against their former team. Chris Paul getting his revenge. He almost got it too. Forced a Game 7. The Thunder really weren't supposed to be here. No one thought they'd be in the playoffs. Came down to a bunch of guys that no one expected being great. They turned out to be great, man. Lou Dort tonight, undrafted free agent, signed with the Thunder. He had 30 points tonight. Shot 18% from the field from three all season. And he hit like 7 or 8 of them today. 30 points, came down to the wire. James Harden once again not having a great Game 7, but he stepped up at the end with a huge defensive play. Russell Westbrook kind of blew it for him in Game 6 in their loss to OKC. But Russell Westbrook played great in Game 7. He was really efficient. Didn't ruin it for him late. He was great in the third quarter. It came down to the wire. The Rockets really eked it out, and they're going to be facing my Lakers in the second round of the playoffs. The second round is officially here. We had another Game 7 last night with the Denver Nuggets beating the Utah Jazz in one of the craziest series I've ever seen. The Jazz technically blew a 3-1 lead. But we all know those teams were evenly matched from the jump. It wasn't like Cleveland, Golden State. But regardless, Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray gave us a show for the ages. Jamal Murray in the final 3 straight games though. He had a 50, a 42, and another 50 burger. We had Donovan Mitchell with 2 50s in the series. They just played their tails off, man. They were going at it. It was one of the craziest duels in NBA history. They're saying it's like Magic Bird. Man, I just saw them trading shot for shot. Nikola Jokic stepped up in Game 7, had the eventual go-ahead shot. It was a low-scoring Game 7, too. What I was seeing was an 80-78 game that really reminds me of the 90s or the early 2000s. It's like Game 7 of Lakers-Celtics back in 2010. Final score was 83-79. It's those kinds of games, even though we love watching entertaining threes and highlight dunks and fast breaks and trading buckets, I think a great defensive game is just as exciting. As long as it comes down to the wire, as long as both teams do what they need to do to make the game competitive, I'm all for it. Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray gave us a show that we will never forget, and the Nuggets move on in the second round to face the Clippers. Starting in the second round already, we have the Heat and the Bucks. They've already played 2 games. Man, that's been a series too. The Heat and Jimmy Butler have been putting on a show. They're yet to lose in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler in the postseason has been a dog. The Heat, they have tons of shooters. Goran Dragic's been stepping up. Duncan Robinson's doing his thing, hitting threes. I love their style of play, man. They play great defense. They shoot the 3. If you can stop the 3 ball and you can shoot the 3 ball, you're going to have a good shot to make it far in the playoffs. And they're up 2-0 on the number 1 seeded Bucks, who we thought had a chance of breaking the all-time record for most regular season wins, or at least winning like 70 games. They didn't do it because of the stoppage of the season, but the Bucks were the best team all year, and the Heat are making them look lost out there. Giannis is yet to prove that he is a top 5 or top 3 player at least. I know he just won MVP and DPOY, which both of those can easily be debated. He's my MVP personally. DPOY, he wasn't my defensive player of the year. But regardless, Giannis is one of the top talents in the league. But the fact that he can't shoot a jumper, it's holding him back, man. Like, it comes down to those fourth quarters. You need someone to go get you a bucket. The Heat have those guys. They have Jimmy Butler. They have Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero. They have tons of guys that can go get you a shot. And Giannis just can't do that. If he can't finish at the rim, it's over. If he's not getting the foul call, they're going down the other end, they're hitting a three, and next thing you know, you're down 8. Even though that game came down to a wild finish today, there were 2 no calls, or actually calls that I think should have been no calls, that really kind of made the game a lot closer than it should have been. Personally, I thought the Bucks would win this series, but the fact that they're down 2-0, it's looking real scary, man. Like, I get that they're the 1 seed, it's only 2 games, they can come back, but the Heat are showing us something that really is symbolic of what it takes for a team to go deep in the playoffs. Another team doing that right now is the Boston Celtics. The Toronto Raptors, they've been the 2 seed. They've been playing great all year, even without Kawhi Leonard. One of the better stories of the year. But the Boston Celtics have that guy, Jason Tatum, going down, getting them buckets down the stretch. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about guys that can create shots. It's all about guys that can play efficient and get you the big bucket in the clutch. That's why I'm the biggest Kobe fan there is. Kobe was the guy who would go out there, he'd get you the big bucket, the big shot with 2, 3, 4 guys on him. You need shot creators in this league. The Bucks right now, they don't seem to have that. The Raptors right now, it doesn't look like they have that. If they had Kawhi Leonard like they did last year, they'd probably be the title favorite. But regardless, this is going to be an exciting second round. You got the Heat, who are up 2-0 on the Bucks. Celtics up 2-0 on the Raptors. I think both of them might take those series, but don't count Giannis and the Bucks out. But unless Giannis can play well down the stretch, or at least create for other shooters on the team, it's looking like the Heat are going to take that one, man. Jimmy Butler is a dog. Looks like the Celtics are going to run away with that one. I picked them before the series. But moving out to the Western Conference, we got the Lakers and the Rockets. Couldn't be more excited for that one. I think we have all the advantages. The Rockets don't have any rim protector at all. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to get to the rim at will. We just pray. The Rockets, they can be scary. If the Rockets, they have shooters everywhere. If their shooters are on, we're going to have, the Rockets are going to give us a run for our money. But as long as our, shooters in LA can hit at least an ample clip, if Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, KCP, guys like that, if they can make an appearance, if they can hit a decent amount of their shots, at least 35%, I'm pretty confident we can win that in 6 games, maybe even 5. If we get a vintage Harden or Russ, poor playoff performance. Anthony Davis is just a monster though, man. He dominated Portland. We took him out in 5. Anthony Davis is insane. LeBron's in playoff mode. I think we got this one in 6 games. Go out to the Clippers facing off against the Nuggets. That's going to be a good series as well, but at the end of the day, I think the Clippers are just the more veteran team. Kawhi and Paul George have been there before. Patrick Beverley's been there a long time. The Nuggets are a young team. I don't expect Jamal Murray's crazy run to last forever. Michael Porter Jr. can't guard anybody. Seems like he's not really all the way comfortable in the offense yet. Tons of raw talent, but he's not there. He's going to be a beast in the future, though. Nikola Jokic, I just don't see that dog in him. Same with Giannis. I mean, Jokic has a much better shooting touch, but it's like they don't want to take over in the 4th, and I think they both need to. They're the best players on those teams. Regardless, I got the Clippers in 6 games also. Lakers, Clippers, Heat, Celtics in the conference finals. Those are my predictions. I'm sure we'll be around to talk about it. Thank you guys for tuning into the video. I love that playoff basketball's here. Football comes back here in a couple weeks. My Dodgers are doing great. Couldn't be more excited about things going on right now. My fantasy football draft. I got the number 1 pick. If you haven't checked out my fantasy video yet, go check that out. It's my previous video. I'll put the link in the description. But we pretty much picked our draft order for our fantasy league. I got the 1st pick. My uncle is livid. He got the 2nd pick. I don't know who I'm going to take yet, but I'm going to vlog that draft this Saturday. Should be really entertaining anytime you get my buddies, my uncle around. They're always a good time. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Many blessings to you. Take care. Subscribe. All that. You already know.